In the previous class, we were discussing about creating more number of structure variables like this. Struct student S1, S2. There is a structure. See, structure is mainly used to information. We have to store more number of information. Sometimes we have to store repeated information, something like that. So to store the information, we need a template. So here, this one here acts as a template. That means for every student, the information which I am storing is name and age. Even if I store the information of 20 students, so it is always for all the 20 students, I'm going to store name of the student and age of the student. Clear? But it depends how many students information I'm storing here. That depends on how many variables I create here. For example, struct student S1, S2. When I write S1, as soon as we declare S1 here, computer creates a huge memory block. Okay, for S1, because S1 belongs to a structure called as student here, so S1 must have memory blocks or subblocks for name and age. Subblocks for name and age. Okay, that is why we use these two, or we use this kind of template here. Now, because I am writing S1, S2 here, two huge memory blocks will be created. First thing, and both the huge memory blocks will be having subblocks because both the variables belongs to the same structure. They'll be having the same kind of subblocks: name, age, and age. Okay, but initially they'll be having no values in them. Okay, after I write S1 equals within the flower bracket some name and age of a particular student, that will be stored in name and age subblocks of S1 memory block. Similarly, if I have to store something else here, some other student's information, again I have to write something called as S2 equals name of a particular student, then age of a particular student. So this is how it works. Okay. After that, how to print the values? I have already told you how to print the values, or how to print the information on the output screen. If I have to print the information of first student on the output screen, of course I am going to write this percentage yes. I have already told you why we need to write percentage yes. Okay. Major intention of writing percentage yes is a group of characters. Okay, how do you store group of characters? When you write in double quote, then you can store the group of characters in the memory block. So that is how you can store group of characters. Then after that, I'm storing the age of a particular person. So age is stored here. How to print that? Percentages represents displaying the group of characters. Percentage D represents displaying number on the output screen. S1 dot name. If I simply write name, computer gets confused whether the name of S1's subblock or name memory block of S2's subblock. Clear? That's why S1 dot name, S1 dot age. Similarly, I'm writing percentages, percentage D, S2 dot name, S2 dot age. So that will be displayed. So then one more program here. Write a C program to create a structure to store information of two employees of an organization and display those information on output. Display those information on the output screen. Okay, now this is what the program is. See, read the question once again. Try to understand this question. Okay. Okay, try to understand the question here. C program to create structure to store information of two employees. Clear? They have not mentioned the information of the employees, so you can write information by your own. For example, here, observe here, I'm writing the full program. Okay, so program starts with hash include stdio.h. Then you are going to write void main. After that, opening flower bracket. Then within the main function, first thing I'm writing is structure. See, first thing I'm writing here is structure because here so structure we have to create because they have given in the question, write a C program to create a structure to store the information. See, information may be of different type. Clear? Information and right? If I'm storing the information of an employee, I have to store the name of an employee, I have to store the ID of the employee, I can store the age of the employee, I can store designation of the employee. All these information are of different types. See, name is a group of character. ID, again, it could be a group of character or a number. Then age, it's a number, something like that. To store different kind of information, I cannot use arrays first thing, because if I'm using arrays, if I store information of employee in an array, I have to create different kinds of array. If I create integer array, I can store only age of the employee. I cannot store name of employee or ID of the employee. Clear? So if I have to store the name of the employee, I have to create a character array where I cannot store age. That is the problem with arrays. That's why we are going to use structures in C. So you can observe here, struct employee. Within this, say, a structure name I have given it as employee. Within the structure, I'm writing two structure members. I have already told you there are, whatever we write within the opening and closing bracket of structures, they will be considered as structure members. Structure members. You can observe here, char name 20. See, this name is a character array which can store how many characters? 20 characters. That depends on the data type we have used here. Char name of 20. The name is a character array. How do you say it is a character array? Because it can store 20 characters and the data type is char. ID. So ID could be like this 0102 or 001, something like that. That's why I have taken int ID. Sometimes ID is group of characters and numbers. Okay. Sometimes ID could be group of characters and numbers. Then I can use char as a data type. Right now, so you can observe here, to store the name of the employee, I'm using a character array. To store the ID, I'm using a variable structure member called as ID here, int ID. So this is how it works. This is how we create structure. See, when I write this one, computer won't create any memory block by reading this. When computer creates a memory block, when I write this line, struct employee E1, E2, struct employee E1, E2. So when you write this particular line, computer automatically creates two huge memory blocks. One is called as E1, another one is called as E2. Now can you guess the subblocks within E1 and E2? Okay, subblocks within E1 and E2 are name and ID. Both E1 and E2 will be having their subblocks. So that is how E1 and E2 will be created when you write this particular line. And you must remember this closing flower bracket. After writing the structure, after closing flower bracket, there should be a semicolon. Okay. Now, after writing these two, I have to store the name and age of both or ID of both employees. How to store name and age of both employee? You can write this one: E1 equals name and ID. E2 equals name of the employee, then ID of the employee. So when you write this, they will be stored in respective huge memory blocks and subblocks. How to print the information? To print the information, I'm going to write the first employee information is the you can print the information of first employee. Print the percentages, percentage D, E1 dot name, E1 dot ID. Then print the information of second employee, E2 dot name, E2 dot ID. So this is how we write program structures. Remember, structures are created to store different kind of information. Okay. Using structure, you can store huge amount of information of an organization. For example, if I have to store information of all students of your class, okay, I can create a structure. And in that structure, I have to create what kind of information I have to store for a particular student. For example, for any particular student, you have to store name, age, percentage, and date of joining. Clear? So I can create a structure for that. For that structure, I can create any if I have to three students of class. I can create three variables. Similarly, I can create any number of variables. So this is how we have to write the program on structure. Hope you have understood here the concept of structure. Okay, then read this question and try to understand this question. I'll explain this program. Okay, the question is, write a C program to read information of two students of a class, create a structure to store information and display that information on output screen. See, I have to read the information. What is the difference between this program and this program? Here, I'm creating a structure called as student, but I'm not reading the information. I'm storing the information which I want here. Storing the information of any two students here. This is what we call initialization. Here we are not reading, we are not asking someone else to enter information of students of a class. We are storing the information of students of the class. So that is a problem. So here we won't, according to the question, we should not do this. Clear? According to the question which I have displayed. So write a C program to read information of two students of a class. Create a structure to store the information. And there are information, student information stored. Here we have to create a template. Template is nothing but structure. And display that information on the output screen. Let's write the program for this. Okay, let's write program here. So first three lines as usual, hash include stdio.h, void main, opening car bucket. Then this I'm writing. Now I want you people to understand what is this. Here I'm writing a structure. Okay, I'm writing a structure to store information of two students of a class which someone else enters. Okay, so information I am considering here is name of the student and age of the student. The name is a character array because name could be of 20 characters, 10 characters, 5 characters. Maximum I am considering here is 20 characters. So char name of 20, int age. These two are structure members. Remember, these two are structure members, and the structure which I am creating is called as student, which is created using a keyword called as struct. When I write this much, computer won't create any memory block. It will be waiting or it will be imagining what kind of memory block it can create. Okay. So when the memory block gets created, when I write this line, struct student s1 comma s2. Why I'm writing s1 comma s2? Because I have to read this information of two students. That's why I'm writing s1. See, s1 is a structure variable which can store information of one student, name and age of one student. s2 is a variable, structure variable which can store information of second student. Okay, what happens when I write this? These two, computer actually creates memory blocks here, like s1, which has, because s1 is a structure variable of same structure student, it should have two subblocks, name and age. Similarly, s2 is also a structure variable. It should have two subblocks, name and age. It should also have two subblocks, that is and after writing this, when I write this, memory block gets created. Okay, then I'm going to this line. Is it okay if I write these two lines here, E1, E2? This is not okay because the question is that you have to read the information to students. Here is one. It's not information is initializing all the information. So I should read this. I'm going to students class to students class. This message on their output screen that they are going to enter name and age of two students of the class. When they enter, as they enter the name and age of two students, they enter the name of a student, enter the name and age of student. As soon as they enter name and age of that is what I am writing here. Scan because name writing percentages. Age is a that's why I am writing percentage. Percentage is percentage. One more thing. Here, writing name, comma, age. I'm not even writing ampersand here. First mistake is I'm not writing ampersand. After that, I'm writing only name and age. See, if I simply write name and age, computer gets confused. If someone enters the name as ABD and the age as 17, to read that name and to store that name, if I simply write name here, computer gets confused whether this name here is a name of S1 or a name of S2. What should I write here? What should I change so that it should specify that this name here is the name of S1. How should I change that? This is what I have to write. S1 dot name, comma S1 dot age. But one more thing is missing here. I have to add ampersand. Remember that I have not added by mistake. Okay, my mistake. Here it is. Percentages, percentage D, ampersand S1 dot name. S1 dot name and exactly this subblock. S1 dot age and exactly this subblock here. Ampersand S1 dot age. Okay. Now, as soon as user enters the information, that will be stored. That will be read by scanner and stored within the particular subblocks of S1. Now, same thing. If user enters information of second student, what should I read? So like this, scanf percentages percentage D. Again, this is a mistake here. What should I write here? S2 dot name, S2 dot age, but I need to add ampersand here, which I have not done by mistake. So ampersand S2 dot name, ampersand S2 dot age. These two are very important. Here, this is what we are doing here. Read the information of two students. After reading the information of both the students, display those information on the output screen. How to display these informations on the output screen? Of course, using printer. But before I display the information, I'm going to display some line here. Information of two students of a class is. ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಲೈನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ okay, I'm going to display this information of two students of a class ಅಂತ display ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ how to display the name and age of first student. Printf percentages percentage D slash S1 dot name S1 dot age. Similarly, printf percentages percentage D S2 dot name S2 dot age and end of the program. So this is how we must understand the program. This is how you must understand the question and try to write the program using structures. See, structures ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ because it's very important in data structures. That's why. Okay, even if you don't get it, do let me know where you are not getting structures, because I may explain it later once again, because as soon we are going to start data structures. That's why everything there depends on structures and pointers. That is why I'm stressing here. So hope you have understood this program here. Even okay. If I don't write student is memory.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Store the information in those. Okay. Any doubts? Any queries? Okay, no problem. So, this is what the program is. Okay, so hope you have understood this program. There is one more last program which is left, which I'll explain in the next class because it needs at least 15 minutes or 10 minutes of time for explanation. Hoping that you have understood this much here, we'll stop the class here. All of you enter US name and USN. Attend next class without fail. Okay, we'll start with data structures as in the next class. That's why. Thank you for attending. Have a great day.